About 600 kilometers or 373 miles away from the nearest port, rising from the deep blue waters of the Pacific Ocean, stands a massive black rock formation known as Ball's Pyramid. This towering structure seems to pierce the sky itself. It is the tallest volcanic rock formation in the world, standing at 562 meters or about 1,840 feet, taller than the Eiffel Tower. With a width of only about 300 meters, from a distance it looks like a thin shadow floating above the ocean, but up close it reveals itself as something strange and almost unreal, like a mysterious tower crafted by nature. Located inside the Lord Howe Island Marine Park of Australia, about 643 kilometers northeast of Sydney, this massive rock stands isolated, harsh, and nearly inaccessible. Climbing it is almost impossible, yet some brave individuals have attempted to scale its steep walls. While a few managed to return alive, others vanished into history. The question is, what secrets does this mountain hide that it is called the most dangerous peak in the Pacific Ocean? And why does every climb here feel like a race against death? In today's video, you will slowly understand why this mountain is known as the Mountain of Death. So make sure to watch till the end. And if you're new here, don't forget to press the subscribe button and select the bell icon for all notifications. In 1788, Royal Navy officer Henry Lidgebird Ball first spotted this enormous rock while sailing towards Norfolk Island with prisoners. Later, the rock was named Ball's Pyramid after him. Although it appeared on early naval maps, Ball himself never visited it, and that was probably a wise decision. The surrounding waves, steep walls, and violent currents made it extremely dangerous. For nearly 100 years, it remained a mysterious place. Sailors could see it on maps, but no one ever set foot there. They claimed that waves crashed so high that they soaked the decks of ships, and the calls of seabirds echoed for miles across the empty sea. In 1882, geologist Henry Charles Wilkinson decided to verify those old sailor stories. His team managed to get within 60 meters of the rock, and 4 men jumped from a small boat onto a narrow ledge between the crashing waves. However, strong winds soon forced them to retreat. Still, the expedition wasn't a failure. Wilkinson collected a rock sample and discovered that it was not just a steep rock, but the eroded core of a massive ancient volcano shaped over millions of years. Even today, most boats stop 30 to 50 meters away because the water around it is nearly 2,000 meters deep with no reefs, allowing waves to hit the rock directly. In 1936, a group from the University of Sydney attempted to reach it but failed due to storms. Later, in 1959, Royal Australian Navy officers observed it from the air and declared there was no safe route to the summit. However, when their photos were published, curiosity about Ball's Pyramid grew rapidly. By the early 1960s, interest in climbing it increased as rock climbing became popular in Australia and equipment improved. In 1964, a team of skilled climbers led by Dick Smith attempted to reach the summit. They traveled by boat and set up a camp on a narrow ledge at the base. But soon, problems began. The rocks were loose and fragile, the walls steeper than expected, and their climbing gear struggled to hold on to the unstable volcanic surface. Climbing required dragging heavy ropes and equipment over sharp, crumbling rocks. One wrong step could mean death. Sleeping was a nightmare. They stayed in a wet sea cave where waves constantly soaked them. Insects crawled over their belongings and rising tides nearly washed them away. For safety, they slept one at a time. Eventually, after reaching only a few hundred meters above sea level, they were forced to abandon the expedition and return. The climb had proven far more dangerous than expected. The following year, in 1965, a new team set out with better preparation. Led by experienced climber Bryden Allen along with members of the Sydney Rock Climbing Club and 2 climbers from New Zealand, they were well-equipped and determined. Despite rough seas caused by a recent cyclone, they pushed forward. Unable to get close by boat, they jumped into the ocean and swam with floating gear bags. Timing their moves between waves, they reached the rock and established a base camp in a small wet cave 100 meters above sea level. From there, the real climb began. They advanced step by step, fixing ropes and navigating extremely dangerous terrain. At around 400 meters, they encountered a massive overhanging wall that required technical climbing tools. It was slow, exhausting, and extremely risky. Finally, on February 14, Bryden Allen and Dave Witham reached the summit after an intense 8-hour climb. Soon after, the rest joined them. The summit was about 562 meters high and surprisingly flat. They could see Lord Howe Island in the distance, surrounded by endless ocean. They built a small rock cairn, left a message, and celebrated with a bottle of champagne. But they couldn't stay long. As the sun set, they spent a freezing night on a narrow ledge before finally descending back to sea level, successfully conquering one of the world's most dangerous peaks. Later expeditions proved that while Ball's Pyramid can be climbed, it remains extremely dangerous. Due to safety concerns and environmental protection, climbing was banned in 1986. Today, it is not only a geological wonder, but also home to rare species, including the Lord Howe stick insect, once thought extinct. Ball's Pyramid stands as a symbol of nature's mystery and power, visited by very few and conquered by even fewer.